Hi, it's Marissa. This is Kiss Creations, and it's been 2 weeks, so it's definitely time for another Flosstube video. Hi and welcome. Welcome back if you are returning, and welcome if you are new. I am so excited to have you here, and I hope that you find something that you like. My name is Marissa, and this is Kiss Creations. This is a Flosstube channel, which means it's about cross stitch. I have had a busy 2 weeks. That is why I was not able to come to you this week or last week. We had our graduation for my full-time job, and I've been working a part-time job, and we did a little vacation, and we've done some family outings, and it just was not happening. So let me start off with by saying my graduation for our 4th year residence went extremely well. It was absolutely lovely. I definitely cried like a proud mama while I was doing their speeches, and then cried like a baby when they recognized me and my efforts. So that felt really good. A big part of my love of that job, actually the biggest part of my love of that job, is the residents and helping them get through 4 pretty tough years, and it just made me feel wonderful. Plus, it's an event that I coordinate and plan, so having it go off really well was a extra wonderful bonus. Family stuff. We went, the girls finished school. I think that was part of the whole busy weeks too. So they had their last day of school on the 19th the 17th, and that it just steamrolled from there. We've already started tennis camp. We are a couple weeks out from field hockey camp. We've got a theater camp in there. So there's just a lot going on. We took the very first weekend and went to Wolf's Neck Farm Preserve. It is off of Freeport, Maine, and they have a organic dairy farm, and they have a lot of education programs. A couple years ago we camped there, and we did a program called Chicken or the Egg, where you kind of go through like a quick learning about all their chickens, and then you go out to their 200 chicken, and they're all laying hens, their chicken coop, chicken tractor, and you do all of their egg harvesting for them for that day. We were the only ones who signed up when we signed up for it this year, so the girls got to collect almost 200 eggs on their own. They did a great job. They absolutely loved it. My little one loves picking up chickens, so she was in heaven. My older daughter is a little anti-bird. So she did not pick up as many chickens. They also got to hold baby turkey chicks and baby chickens, and so they had a great time, even with a little bit of fears for my older daughter. Then for the next weekend, after their first full week off, no, that same weekend, the next weekend, I don't know, it's all together. Oh no, the weekend before they officially finished school was when we took them to Chicken or the Egg. Then for Father's Day weekend, and after they had officially finished school, we did a family kickoff and went down to Massachusetts to stay a night at Great Wolf Lodge and do some water slides. And we had a fantastic time, all of us. We did some family water slides. The girls pulled my husband and I down quite a few water slides, and it was just great. I think I climbed like 22 flights of stairs. That was what my watch said each day that we were there. It was a lot of stairs. It's a lot of stairs. And then of course, you know, when you're going down a slide with your kids in the tube, you're the one responsible for carrying a tube, so you're lugging a 2-person inner tube up 22 flights of stairs. Super fun. We had a great time though. It was really great. everybody that was there was really great. I don't know if it was because it was Father's Day weekend. Everyone was on their best behavior, but it was just a really lovely situation. I thought that the service there was fantastic. Every server that we encountered was lovely. Every staff member we encountered was lovely. It was a good time. A good time was had by all. All right, we have hit the 5-minute mark. That means it's better be time to talk about some stitching. Okay, so last video, if you remember, so long ago, I was working on my Cauldron of Mer. I'm going to put a picture of this. Artwork is by Ivy Dolamore. It was charted by Unconventional X Stitch. It is no longer available. It's a retired chart. Her artwork is available in other forms. I think you can still find it in diamond painting. I also think that there are puzzles available, and then obviously you can get prints. But this is called Cauldron of Mer, and I was working on that. I had put my, little 1,000 stitch plus stitches into it. If you're new here, when I pick up a full coverage project for a rotation, I don't have an official rotation, but when I pick it up, it's rotation. When I pick it up, I aim to get at least 1,000 stitches into that project so that you can really see some progress, see what's going on. So I had gotten, I think like maybe 1,400 or 1,500 last time, but I was so close to some not greens. So I'm going to put a picture up of where this was the last time you saw it. It was still greens, but over 3 days, I really enjoyed stitching on this while I was stitching on it. I had, I think, a rainy weather day. I got some good stitches in. Over 3 days, I put in 2,105 stitches. So I'm going to show you what that looks like. And I got to these like pinks and purples of the mermaid's tail, the mermaid witch's tail. Okay, so I'm gonna hold this here and I'm gonna put the picture over my face because you don't need to see me talking. So, of where it was. So I got those 2,105 stitches. I am now at 15,846 stitches out of 156,600 for 10.12%. So I passed on this rotation the 15,000 stitch mark and the 10% mark. So I hit a lot of milestones, which was really exciting. But the most exciting thing was getting to these fun colors. So we're gonna start to see her tail a little more the next time I pick it up. It is not going to be in my next video because I have more whips to show you. But there's an Aimee Stewart stitch along. There's an Aimee Stewart encouragement. Let's see, where did it go? I don't remember who's doing it. And I thought I'd be able to find it. Oh, here we go. Steph X Stitch, Stephanie Taylor, is doing a Aimee Stewart's Summer Adventure. And she's just hosting a stitch along to either start an Aimee Stewart or stitch on an Aimee Stewart whip. So I have 2 Aimee Stewart full coverages. So those are going to be going into my full coverage pile that I stitch from over the next couple of months, days, I don't know, weeks. I definitely know I'm going to go for another page finish on Tiki Beach Sunset, and I would like to put some stitches into Aimee Stewart's Sanctuary of Stitching as well. It is a giant project and it needs progress, so we're gonna get it some. Okay, then I picked up my carpool stitch. This is, I call it a stitch in time. It's called Fresh from the Garden. It's from Little House Needleworks, Country Cottage Needleworks, I never remember. I didn't stitch a ton, but I got progress. So I did do a carpool pickup on the last day of school, And then I brought it with me on our trip to Great Wolf Lodge, so I stitched on it like one night. But so I got this like leaf in the corner done, and I brought this border over, and I'm bringing this border up. So we're getting pretty close. It's just mostly border stitching left and a couple more words. So I am gonna try to finish this before June is over, because I don't have a June finish yet, and I have had a finish every month of the year so far, so I need a June finish. So that was whip number 2. I still have 2 more whips to show you, but let's do giveaways. So I am still waiting to hear from Stitch with Grace and, oh, I can't read my writing. Stitch with Grace and something for Sally Spencer. So if that is you, please contact me. I'll put the, oh, Delight. Stitching with Grace and Delight? I think that's what it is. I'll put a picture of the winning comment there from, I think like 3 or 4 videos ago. So if I don't hear from you before my next video, I'm gonna draw again to give this away. You can message me on Instagram at mkissacreations, or you can email me at mkissacreations@gmail.com with your address so I can send this to you. And then I got this as a door prize at Stitch Maine 2 weeks ago, and I am giving this away too. So I asked you to comment the word pumpkin on my last video if you wanted to stitch this. And the winner is, I'll put it up here, but it's J Forster 95. So if you can message me on Instagram or email me at mkissacreations@gmail.com, I will get this one sent off to you. So I hope I can pass that little bit of a stash to you both, so that you can get stitching on it. All right, then I needed to get moving on Museum After Midnight, the Lola Crow stitch along. I was fairly far behind. I am not fully caught up, but I am doing pretty well. I am 1 release behind from importing, I think, and with that though I'm about 90%. So I have all of this current release to do, but I'm at 90% of the whole project with all the releases before that. I did finish the whale skeleton. I added 2,962 stitches to this over 5 days, and this is where that is currently at. The left-hand side and the bottom portion are partially missing back stitching, but they are coming along. So yeah, the whale is done. I didn't want to take it out because I have it set pretty good for everything that's going on right now in there. But getting some progress on those sharks, getting all my columns finished up. So I am really happy with how far I've gotten with this. It is, I think I just need to like put a couple stitches into it every day. I tend to pick up like one project and like really fixate and focus on it, and I think that that's not helping with the stitch along. With the stitch along, I end up getting like burnt out where I feel like I have to stitch on it, and then I have to like make a lot of progress, and then I'm like, I don't really want to even stitch, and then I end up not stitching at all. So we're gonna give ourselves grace with this project and try to move at a more turtle-like pace, slow and steady, right? That way I can still work on my other projects and not feel guilty about them, and just kind of keep moving in that direction. Especially, I think there's like a few of us that are going through this right now. Like, full coverage is calling. It's been really calling me. I am loving seeing big chunks of progress on my full coverage projects, and it has just been sometimes hard to put them down and switch to something else, even though I know that like stitching on those smaller projects is going to get me finishes. Like, this fresh from the garden nonsense is so close to being done. If I put in a monster stitching day to that, I would be all set and it would be done. But it is not calling, and so we have to listen, because otherwise the stitchy bug goes away, and that's when it gets like not amazing. I don't like when my stitchy bug goes away. Okay, and then yesterday, after I was done, didn't want to stitch Lola Crow anymore. Yesterday or the day before, I don't know. I didn't want to stitch on the Lola Crow anymore. I was like getting burnt out on it. I felt like I was forcing myself to do stitches, and I didn't want to do that anymore. And so I kind of went back into my brain, and I was like, you know what? I asked everybody what they really wanted to see progress on a couple of videos ago. I worked on Medicine and Poison, which was probably the most talked about one from that video. And then I had 2 others that got a lot of attention, one of which I haven't worked on yet this year and was supposed to. So in March for my birthday, I hosted what I was calling the collector sale. And I think I'm just going to perpetuate that forward annually. I know a lot of people are still stitching on stuff and like tagging me and hashtagging collector sale, and I love it. So I think we're just going to continue it, and then I will do like a full-blown feature on it every year in March for my birthday. But for now, it's just, this is part of the collector sale, which is stitching something that you collect. Like, do you have a lot? I have a lot of moth charts, and I really like moths and butterflies. Do you have a lot of black cat charts? Do you have a lot of, you know, tombstones? So there, whatever you've been like hoarding as a stitcher, whatever patterns you have just been collecting and collecting and collecting, like getting those started, getting them stitched, getting them finished, getting them on your walls, in your dough bowls, all that stuff. So this was one that I didn't even have to start, so I guess that's why I didn't touch it. It was already in my whip pile, and it is in like the older portion of my whip list, so it really did need some attention. So this is called Snug as a Bug. It is from Cloud's Factory, and I believe it is still available. It's not a popular Cloud's Factory cross stitch. I have not seen anyone else stitch it. If you're stitching this, please let me know. Or if you have stitched it and it's finished, like throw your Instagram at me or send me a picture to mkisscreations@gmail.com. I would love to see somebody else's stitched version of this. But I have not seen it as a popular piece, but it is gorgeous. So I think I have the picture up here. If I don't, I'm putting it up there now. I've only stitched on this for 2 little sessions. I got 230 stitches into it, and I added some more back stitch. So now I'll put a picture of where this was at my whip parade in January, and I will show you where I am now, and I'll show you what I did. All right, so here is where this is right now. So I'm working on this ladybug here, and I put in all that black from the ladybug on this go round, and then I did a bunch of this back stitching right here. I finished that back stitch motif. It was only partially completed, so I got that completed. I will talk about this every time I talk about this piece. I absolutely love this back stitching. It is, or black work almost. So it is meant to be stitched in a color that is like 1 or 2 shades darker than your fabric choice. So I don't know, in my little thing on the camera, I can't really see it as much when it's back this far, but I can see it really well in real life, and I know that when I hold it up closer, you can see it. And I just love that, like, it's subtle but not, and it just looks really cool in there. So like I said, 230 stitches plus some black work back stitch stuff going on, and like I said, oh, I love it. So I am gonna keep this out. This is gonna be the non-full coverage that I work on, and then let's talk. No, one more thing, and then we'll talk about plans. So Jasmine's custom bags, I have admired her bags from afar from some of my favorite other floss tubers that have shown them. And then I finally had the funds to get one, and she wasn't shipping to the US for a while because she's based in Canada. But then she posted that she had bags and that she was shipping to the US, and I got. Now, if you know, you know. But also, I'm a Boston Bruins fan, so this is also amazing. But also a Boston, I think they were the Bears in the books. Boston Bears fan, Boston Raiders fan, really a Rosanov fan. But look how cute. Oh, I love it. I love it. So I got this. It is like, it is a, I think it's like her small bag. It fits the 5x7 projects, or 5x8.5, 5x8.5, 5x8.5 project patterns in it. And then it would fit like a smaller hoop, like probably up to maybe an 8-inch hoop in there, 7-inch hoop, 6-inch hoop. A 6-inch hoop I think would be a safe bet to stick in here. But I've just been keeping the floss rings because otherwise they fall down into the like couch abyss. So I have a floss ring for my Medicine and Poison, which shares some flosses for the Lola Crow stitch along. And then I also have my floss cards that I made for the Deadly Aquarium, or my floss drops that I made for Deadly Aquarium. I actually haven't even looked to see if any of these are on Museum After Midnight. If they are, they are. But this is my like ring of floss drops that I have made in the past. So some of them might not even be from that. They might be from other projects that I just added to this. And then I have, actually this one needs to go in with all the rest of them, but then I have just a card of black and a card of blanc that live on there too. So this has just been I work from a master set of DMC, and so when I'm working on a project that I do like having floss drops, but I think at some point I'm just going to collect all the floss drops, like make from all the different sets I make, and then just keep them in order in places, and that way I can, you know, make my own custom floss drops for those sets that I'm working on, and like not have to not fill them all the way up. Deadly Aquarium, this is like very disjointed and I'm sorry. The Deadly Aquarium, that was the first project that I ever kitted up on floss drops, and I learned a valuable lesson, and that was to look at the stitch counts provided. I just took my list and went to the store and bought a new skein of every color because it seemed like a big project for me for some reason. And as far as DMC goes, I didn't need to do that. I could have looked and been like, oh, I only need to pull like 3 strands of this one color and a couple strands of this color, and could put those on floss drops or a floss card to have handy. And I didn't think to do that. So that was definitely a valuable lesson that I learned. This is all like on me. This is not anybody else not telling me to do this. This was just like, I was just like, I have a floss list. Let's go buy all the floss. I didn't look at what I had. I didn't, you know, pull anything first and look at the count, the stitch counts. And I don't know if she provides those. I think she provides them. I don't know. Anyways, for this project, I haven't pulled anything. I don't even know what all the colors look like. So, oh, I forgot to tell you. So I am stitching that on Feldspar from Picture This Plus, which is my new favorite fabric ever. All right, now we can talk about plants. All right, it's getting a little steamy in here. We've had like gross rainy weather. This is like the only day I think that it's gonna be nice, and then it's gonna get gross and rainy again for a couple days. But so it's like sticky. We're having a very sticky late spring, early summer, which I don't remember it being this sticky last year, but perhaps I was wrong, and it was. Maybe I should just go back and watch my videos, and I will probably be telling you about the Maine weather. Okay, so like I said, Steph X Stitch is hosting a Aimee Stewart stitch along for the summer, I think. And so I'm gonna pull out my Aimee Stewarts. I wanted to show you those and where they're at, just because it's fun and I love looking at Tiki Beach Sunset all pulled out. And then, yeah, we'll talk about some video plans too. Okay, so my full coverage with the most progress in it is my Aimee Stewart's Tiki Beach Sunset. So the artwork is right here. Artwork by Aimee Stewart, charted by HAED. And so that is where this is at. So I'm gonna be working here and getting a page, working to get a page finish. I do have this one stitched all the way down to the bottom, so if I do want to jump around, I can. And I have it stitched all the way across the top. I don't normally do that, but I got real nervous about this situation right here. But I think it'll be okay, and we're good. But I kind of got freaked out. So this is Tiki Beach Sunset, and I am really excited to put stitches into this summer. So we're gonna do that. It's gonna be great. And then I signed up for and participated in the HAED sale for this year. I have, I'm stitching the skulls. I have not put any additional work into that since actually last year because they released that chart early. The original plan was that you had to stitch a full page of that chart to get this Aimee Stewart reward chart. Well, then the release day came and they just gave it to us. And there are a lot of feelings behind that that cross all ends of the spectrum. I am just excited that I have the Aimee Stewart reward chart. I obviously have not continued stitching on the skulls. I do like them. I am not UFOing that project. I will probably pick it up at some point towards the end of the year when I realize I haven't gotten any stitches into it. I started in the top left-hand corner on that one, and there is a lot of block stitching, a lot of black, a lot of 3371. It's not going to be super entertaining when I stitch on it. So there's a very specific mood for that type of block stitching and that type of counting, because I don't stitch on gridded fabric either. So I have Aimee Sanctuary stitching. I'll put a picture of what that looks like right here. I am stitching on the Supersize Max Color. I am, oh, sorry. This one, Tiki Beach Sunset, is 1/1 full cross on 25 count lugana. This Sanctuary of Stitching is 1/1 full cross on 28 count lugana. So far, I like how it's looking. I did make a boo-boo, and I'm not pulling it out. I'm just going to live with it. I accidentally stitched like a line of 3371 instead of 3031 because browns were happening, and you'll see that browns were happening. So while I can currently see where I made that mistake, like I said, I'm not going to pull it out, and I will not be able to see it when I am looking at the full giant supersize max color Aimee Stewart Sanctuary of Stitching with it being down here in the bottom. If I had stitched yellow instead of 3031, I would be pulling it out. But with the many different colors of browns that are down there and it being on 28 count, 1/1, that won't bring me joy. And it will make me not be happy with this. So we're gonna leave it as is. I did sew this is gray because even with it being on 28 count, I don't have much border with my fabric. So I sewed a piece of fleece, no, felt, no. What is this? What is this fabric called? I don't know, it's that soft stuff that I had on hand, and it gets gripped well by the Q-snap, so that's what I used. And yeah, I'm gonna get some stitches into this. It is not very far along, but that is a lot of stitches. It's just very small. SML. But yeah, I really like this project. My daughter, my youngest, looked at the picture and she said she wants to live there. I said, me too, babe, me too. So we're gonna work on Aimee Stewart's for full coverage. I might work on both of them during the same week. I don't know. I do not anticipate being away for 2 weeks again, but again, it is summer. Things happen. Life is wild. Tonight, I get to go to Hearts Pine game, which is Portland, Maine's minor league soccer team. So very excited about that. Been watching a ton of World Cup. I played soccer from when I was 5 until I was 18, and still absolutely love it and have been enjoying this, and am like feeling old though, because then I like look, Alexi Lawless is like doing commentating, and I just keep expecting him to look like he did in, what was it, 1994, the 1994 World Cup, when I remember watching it when I was like 12 years old and putting pictures of Eric Winalda on my wall, and he doesn't look like that anymore. And so I'm like, oh yeah, I don't look like I did back then anymore either. So yeah, it's been great. I love seeing the soccer players that I grew up with, you know, commentating and watching the new soccer players, and some that have been around for quite a long time actually, that are still playing, and so it's just been really fun. I'm a soccer person. So again, I get to go to soccer tonight, which is really exciting. The Hearts of Pine tickets are very difficult to get here. This team has been here for 2 years now. They still don't have their own stadium. They're playing at like the Portland High School stadium, and it's been wild. This town has embraced them. We really embrace our minor league sports. We have the Portland Sea Dogs for baseball, who are in season right now, and the Maine Mariners, who are an affiliate of the Bruins, who are not in season right now because that's hockey. But it is really fun, and you get to go to sports events for not a lot of money and have a really good time. The Maine Mariners got really far in playoffs this year, which was exciting. So hopefully that means that the Bruins organization is gonna like not look like it does right now for in a couple years. That'd be great. I'm rambling, but I'm also gonna tell you that I was watching a episode of Family Feud because I was like hoping that the World Cup was going to be on Fox, and then because we just use rabbit ears to watch TV, and then it wasn't, and so Family Feud was on and I got sucked into it. And like one of the questions, it was like they had to get a number 1 or number 2 answer or something. I don't really know the rules of Family Feud. It was like towards the end of the game, and they asked which US city loved their sports teams the most, and one of the girls said USA, which was I just hope she was flustered. And then the next person said Philly, which, yes, I know you love them, and you do a good job loving your sports teams, but New York and Boston, I think I would have had a hard time choosing between the two, but New York was the answer. But Boston fans, like, I mean, they live and die by and across the board, all sports. So anyways, it was wild. I know Philadelphia should be pretty high up there, but it was not as high up as New York or Boston. Anyways, funny, not funny, I don't know. Rambling, yes, it is one of those things. So I'm gonna let you go. There are lots of other floss tubes to watch, lots of whip parades. My mid-year whip parade will be coming soon. I need to get to ironing, and I need to get that stitch in time piece finished. That just needs to happen. So we're gonna try to do that. We're gonna get more progress on Museum After Midnight, and we're gonna watch floss tubes, we're gonna watch soccer, and go sports ball. And I will talk to you all next time. I hope you are having a lovely kickoff to summer, and that it's not too uncomfortably warm wherever you are, or if you are in the southern hemisphere, I hope that it's not too incredibly cold where you are. Anyways, have a fantastic week, and I will see you later.